Hi, ladies. Is it so relieved? Things are coming together. We're in the final days.
Emotions. So yeah, so glad that you here are dealing with the topic that says be your own kind of beautiful.
Hi, ladies. Hey.
Hi everyone, how you guys doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay. After yesterday's visit, so relieved. Things are coming together. We're in the final days. I'm excited. What have you guys? What about you guys?
I'm nervous, hey. I'm so super nervous. And yeah, things are just hectic at work and just trying to work things out. Yeah. And you guys?
Well, I am good, very well. Although I'm very nervous as well, Danilo. I'm very nervous, but I'm excited because we now getting to the last days of the finale. So yeah.
Guys, like I'm really excited. Looking at yesterday's videos, and I'm just like, wait, Basutana, Melinda Bam, we're going to be there. Like what? But I think just hopefully all the preparation that we have been putting in doesn't go to waste. I think it's time for us now to just prepare and to, portray what we've been doing, our journeys and who we are. And yeah, I'm really excited to see you guys. It's been a long time actually. So yeah.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with Priya. We mentioned it that as soon as we got our finalist sessions, that was like the time we spent together and none at all since. So it's almost like we know each other. Oh, yeah. Decline.
Yeah, Nalidi. Yeah, we have to say how we feel because as much as we in a competition, we're still sisters and we still have to consider each other's emotions. So yeah, so glad that you're here today and you're looking so beautiful as we'll be dealing with the topic that says be your own kind of beautiful.
Let's get into it. Be your own kind of beautiful. I say what a time, what a moment, what a perfect theme for the time that we are in. Looking at you guys, I see your own kind of beauty. And I just want to get us started into what you define beauty as. Truthfully, get deep into it. And let's connect. That sisterhood you're speaking on, let's have a moment of it and do it.
So to me, being my own kind of beautiful is being confident. In some cases, people say that people that wear makeup, I do wear makeup, a lot of makeup, but it doesn't mean that I'm insecure with how I look. I'm really proud of how I look and I'm confident. So I feel that a lot of women should actually start believing in themselves and not taking into account what beauty is defined as in the society. I mean, there's a lot of people out here that feel that being beautiful is having a lighter complexion, straightened hair, all of that. But if you actually believe in yourself, you should just flaunt with your flaws. So that's what being your own kind of beautiful is to me. And again, physical appearances aren't just beauty. It's actually important to inside and out, because as much as you can be very beautiful on the outside, it's totally different to how are you on the inside. So each time I advise that everyone should be true to themselves. So yeah, that's how I define being my own kind of beautiful.
Google, I truly agree with the fact that you said confidence as well is part of what defines you as being beautiful. And sometimes confidence, it isn't about us wanting people to notice us of how we look, how we think, or how we act. It's just about us being proud of how we look, how we think, or how we act, basically. So I think us not seeking reassurance from people, um, and for us to feel pride in ourselves, I think it's just more appealing. And for me, beauty starts from within. the beauty of your heart, the beauty of your soul, the beauty of your mind, your strengths, your weaknesses, and insecurities. And I just love how we can even turn our own insecurities into power. And also, I feel like with everything that's been happening, if these differences are expressed by every girl, I think it will add more to this. So the live chat that I had with Naledi, I think I also mentioned that as women, we are creative, we are multifaceted, we are diverse. So we cannot be boxed into one thing. Like I can wake up one morning and have a wig on, or even have my natural hair on, or be bold, because we are creative beings. We are born naturals. So yeah, I feel like beauty starts from acceptance, and once you start accepting who you are and embracing that, even with your flaws, your strengths and weaknesses, you can definitely turn that into power. And I think that's just the most beautiful thing.
With me, it starts with unlearning all the things that we have been taught by the society, and having to unlearn all those things is a process. We have to understand that as a person, in order for you to actually embrace yourself, your individuality, your having to embrace, even having confidence on its own, it starts with you having to choose or decide to unlearn a lot of things that we have been taught as women, not only women, or rather as young girls, to say you are not anything beyond your physical appearance as an individual. So we have to acknowledge and continue spreading out the voice to say, you're not only as how you appear to people in general. You are somebody, and that somebody deserves to be heard. So when you embrace all that uniqueness within yourself, it's a process of you having to acknowledge who you are, what you want, and where you can get to be as an individual. So with me having to embrace my own beauty, it starts with having to unlearn all the things that we have been taught as young girls, and having to embrace that, I can be a human being, and I can embrace all the little things that I have and be flawed as much as any people, other people, or rather gender, can be accepted for being flawed. We also, as young girls or women, can also be flawed. And having to have that and acknowledging all those things, you tend to understand the fact that you are a human being, and you are as much beautiful as other people can be, and you are capable. That's what always, at work, they always tell me, we don't see you here. And I'm like, where do you see me? So, which means my physical appearance take charge over what I can put in the table. And it's not what I am. It's far beyond what it is. So we have to acknowledge that, having to unlearn and taking critics, we're going to be critical as far much as we would want to be applauded. So you have to take all those things together to make you be a beautiful human being. It's not always about being perceived as this beautiful person, but it's about you having to have this fulfilling life and being happy with yourself. It's not about having to look beautiful for the next person. Be beautiful for your own self.
Individuality, individualism, but we got it. The message is loud and clear. And personally, I want to just even speak and add on to what both you and Kuku said. You guys speak about the inside, the you that defines what you see as beauty. And there's this saying I believe in, guys, and I don't know if you know this, but I say physical truth reflects emotional truth. It reflects what's in here. So if you yourself have kind of convinced yourself or assured yourself in your own definition of beauty, it's kind of easy for others to receive that. And just to take it from Gugu as well, when she said that, I love my makeup, I do too. It's a self-expression tool. But I think what we need to realize is that the core, needs to be fixed, the core needs to be healed, and the core needs to be loved and realized before you go out into the world to find other tools to express it. Ria said it, we're multifaceted. You can't limit us, you can't define us. The more you do so, the more you limit us. So try not to, because we are in the age of defining our own kind of beautiful. And I love this message. I love you guys. Should we just speak about beauty standards in society? Dineo, you touched on it. You said that, and Google, yes, Dineo, you touched on it. Society has taught us. It's all about unlearning things like that. And we are in a space that the stereotypical view by the public feel as though is known for embracing beauty standard, that word. Let's talk about it.
When Naledi, they tend to look at you and say you are beautiful just because you appear as these standards of their own, whatever the criteria they classify us into. And it's not like that. I believe that as women, the only thing that we wanted was only to be acknowledged for what we are capable of. That's the only thing that we wanted. And as far as the progress is going so far, people are having to hinge it back to say, no, this is not what we want out of women. And having to say to them also to say, no, man, I am human. Being beautiful doesn't mean that I have to look. And you looking at the way doesn't mean that you are. And you have to embrace all those characters to make you beautiful and to actually have your own definition of saying, this is beauty. And for me, this is my own kind of beauty that I will embrace. Yeah.
I just wanted to add something quickly, and then I'll let GA's ladies talk to what Dineo has said. Because Ria, you and I have talked about this, the idea that women are so reduced to their physical attributes when there's so much more about them. You have your presence, you have your potential, you have your grace, your spirit, but it's always going to be reduced to how you look and your physical attributes, and I feel as though that is what society in its entirety has to unlearn. And what I'm happy about with the pageant space is that it now wants to know the individual before the person, the statue. You know, now it's all about who are you well-rounded, where do you fit in the brand well-rounded, more than where do you fit in the brand in terms of imagery. So I think that reflects a really positive way we can move forward, that it's not just about my physical attributes. It transcends that. It goes to what I have to say, my thoughts, my opinions in the world, my place in the world, my contribution in the world, and so forth. But yeah, Gugu and Ria, what do you guys have to say?
Well, I feel that the beauty standards that have been set up in the society back in the 90s have been just bad, because an African lady with hair like ours, wear a pencil, you put it in and then it stays in, has been not so beautiful. So I feel like it's high time that we have so much confidence in ourselves, because right now we have to feel that we're beautiful when we have to set a standard with influencers, celebrities and all of that, and that's just not how it is. And to touch on to what I've learned in this pageant, or the beautiful ladies I've met with Claudine Siletela, I feel that Claudine is such a confident young lady. Claudine, I checked her out, everything, I'm such a fan. I feel that Claudine has proved that beauty is not the physical appearance. Beauty is how you carry yourself, and beauty is confidence. And I'd love to say, Claudine, I love you.
Yeah, so I love what you said there. You know, we need to, us as women, we need to celebrate ourselves. We need to celebrate who we are. And it's not just about our physical appearances. It just goes beyond like our passions, our compassions, our dreams, everything that goes with being who we are, our story. And it's just unfortunate how back then the perception of beauty pageants was all about physical appearance. And right now, I just love, there was this girl who asked me, how are pageants now still relevant and how are they different from a few years back? And I told her that pageantry, it's people have this mindset of when you're doing pageants, all about choosing the most beautiful and just, yes, we are expressing ourselves, but it's more about expressing your individuality as a person, your purpose, and what you stand for. Right now, all of us here, we have a reason why we actually entered Miss Regal, and we all have a purpose around that. And I think it's for us to embrace our stories, for us to embrace who we are. And I think that just goes beyond physical appearances. And another thing, social media has contributed a lot to what the beauty standard. If you look at certain videos, influencers, celebrities that just have portrayed this image of this is how you should be if you want to fit in into the society. So yeah, I think beauty is more than skin deep. If we embrace our stories, if we embrace what we stand for, if we embrace the weaknesses, I think a lot of times we don't mention what we lack. And we tend to think that if we embrace that, we won't be able to stand out. We won't be able to be celebrated. I think we need to put our weaknesses out there and portray them as our strength and power. And yeah, I think really beauty goes beyond skin.
Oh,
Um,
Janelle. I mean,
it can into what Ria said. Ria said they beauty in concerning social media, right? What I believe in is that at most time we should understand that when you place yourself, know your platform. You know, as Dineo as I am, I know that where my platform lies at, and when we recognize that my platform is not going to be your platform, right? And how I take things won't be as much as how you take things, right? So as much as we're trying to embrace individualism, we have to acknowledge that certain platforms are not for all of us. You know, beauty pageant embrace a flawed person with a purpose, right? And all those, but you have to select a platform that is suitable for you as an individual. You know that, okay, fine, my purpose is to do this and that. There's so many platforms that we can choose from. And when we choose from those platforms, you would get to realize that actually I was trying to make myself infused in other people's purpose. And that is not who you are. So if we turn back and just realize that as an individual, you have to find your platform. You can't always try to rotate in circles trying to find yourself, having not knowing where you're going, and having not to have a concrete platform to actually execute whatever it is that you have in mind or want to share with other people. Yes, you can go on, Naledi.
Yeah, Ria, when she mentioned something about flaws and stuff like that, I had so many thoughts ganging up on me. And I loved Ria's take because this is what I believe in, that and as much as you work on your dreams and your potential, you also need to work on your insecurities or your flaws. And you need to represent them whenever you represent your dreams and that potential that you always want to express in these places. And like you mentioned, platforms. I don't know. For me, life is a platform. Your life is a platform. And you mentioned purpose, but for me, I don't think purpose is a thing that you're gonna find. I think you just go on discovering pieces of your purpose anywhere you can go. Like, you don't have to limit yourself. That's what we say. We're saying that instead of trying to define this thing, let the definition go away. I'm not limited, so that I can shine in any space, or I can find a piece of myself that belongs in any space I choose to embrace. It's all about tools and so forth. But I agree with you. The platform thing, it's like your life is a platform.
To remember that you have to choose where you're going to spread out your wings at. That's what I'm going at. To say not to just go around in other people's angles, not knowing where you actually want to go, like your direction as a person. So when I talk about purpose and platform, I'm talking about knowing and acknowledging that this is me and this is what I love and this is what I want to do. You come along with all those things, collecting all those pieces as an individual and having to create yourself a platform. If not a platform, find a platform that is ready made for you to actually execute all those things that you have. Exactly.
Okay. So in light of all this talking about individualism and everything to do with beauty, I think it's very important for us to instill within ourselves and to keep reminding ourselves that we do not need to conform to the beauty standard that society has set for us. Because unfortunately, it is very, very easy to go into a space and, like Dineo said, when she goes into work, they tell her, you don't look like you belong here. You don't look like you should be here, like working an office job, working this and working that. But, when someone says something like that to you, it makes you want to regress within yourself and try and lessen yourself, make yourself smaller so that people don't come up to you and say that constantly. Because even if we can't go into the workplace and say, hey, don't say that to me, we just need to work on dismantling it within ourselves and within our spaces so that the next time someone comes up to us and says something as narrow-minded as you don't fit into the, let me say, corporate culture of how we work here, or your looks don't necessarily work with your position, So the next time someone says that to you, you can confidently stand within yourself and say, yes, that might be something that you think, but that is not something I think, because I am secure enough within myself that I believe I can do it here. Beauty is all about how you feel about yourself. It is about who you are, where you're going, and where you've come from. And it's very important to acknowledge all three of those things as you go about your life, because it's very easy to, it's very easy to get lost in the source of all of it. So we just need to really work on dismantling that.
Zippo, I love that. I love that. I definitely agree with you about the platform thing. It's a self-definition thing. And Zippo, I really, really enjoyed that. But now I just wanted, a lot of things were popping up. That saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And then when Zippo says, no, you need to find it in yourself. You need to define it yourself. I just reckon that we should all be beholders. I need to be a beholder of my own beauty. Ria. Oh, and then we have Claudine here. So just unmute myself. And Claudine, join us.
Okay, so I personally believe that beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself. As much as you don't want validation from people, but the moment you be yourself, the moment you have fully accepted yourself and how you are, it'll be easier for people to actually accept you. So it actually begins the moment you decide to be yourself. It begins like from, who said it, Ria? Was it Ria? It begins the moment that you decide to be yourself. It's also from the inside as well. So yeah, we don't want validation from people, but it will be much easier for people to actually accept you the moment you're okay with yourself fully. Yeah, that's what I think.
Also, I would like to add, beauty is not as narrow as something of, oh, you're wearing makeup, oh, you're dressed in a very feminine way, so you must be beautiful, you must think you are like this or like that. It's very much a thing of, like we have all been saying throughout this chat, you need to be comfortable within yourself, and you need to exude an aura that will make people gravitate towards you naturally because of how confident you are within yourself. So I'm sitting here, I see some of the girls are also sitting here fully beat in the morning, and some of us are sitting in our homes studying or are going to study directly after this. It's very much about what Dineo has said, creating your own platform and moving forward with the purpose of your own platform and how you go about that, whether it is dressing up or let me say performing femininity by wearing skirts and dresses and makeup, or based on how you perform your own femininity.
Yes, and just my last offering is to end off Zipo's thing, that instead of redefining beauty, this is something I've said constantly, instead of constantly redefining beauty, we need to undefine it. Like, instead of trying to open this beauty standards and say beauty is this, beauty is that, we need to actually reverse the entire term in its entirety, because in itself it's so limiting. So like you said, it was like these little pieces we used to define can actually lead to a limiting version and view of this. So we're just, undefining it. Let me just, so that we have like.
I think the word you're looking for, maybe it's dismantling, I think, right? Yeah, that is, something along those lines. But yeah, we definitely do need to fix the way that we define beauty, so that there's no longer this stigma or stereotype that comes with someone that looks beautiful, or that someone that doesn't look, conventionally beautiful, because pretty privilege is definitely something that exists, and it's something that a lot of people can move through and navigate with this in their life. But however, some people that are not perceived as beautiful or have the pretty privilege in any kind of way do not navigate through the world within the same lens as those that do.
Okay, so my last take on this. Sorry?
Okay. Can I add on what Zipo said?
Oh, no.
Please. Okay, I'm not gonna take long. I'm just gonna say we have to remember that beauty starts with yourself. The moment you start to look at yourself and say, I am beautiful, then that's the whole definition of being beautiful. And from there, the legacy you're gonna carry along, it's just gonna follow suit. So that's what I would, in closing, say. Beauty starts with yourself and how you define it to be. What other people say, it's their own definition of beauty. And that's what I would end with.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that the last take on this is that as much as it's very easy to be caught within our insecurities when we are exposed out there in society, and I think what I have done personally that really helps me to stay content with myself is affirmation, affirming that I am beautiful. You wake up every morning, and before you go on social media to like someone else's picture, have you liked yourself first? You talk to yourself, I am beautiful. I actually repeat this like 10 times. I am bold, I am confident, I am powerful, I am fearless, I am strong. And I think if we consistently repeat those words every single day, I think it just comes a point where it doesn't matter if you are around society and people say whatever to you. And, it's very easy that even us as women, we tend to compete as well. And I think if you are content and you know who you are and affirming that to yourself, I think it could be a stepping stone somehow for us to actually get closer to, I think that's just my last take on it.
Is Google still with us? Perhaps she has the last few words. Google, so that she can just say what her concluding statements are.
Well, my last few words is that let's stay true to who we
Okay. So for me, a world that is constantly setting beauty standards for us, I think it's time we create our own individual beauty standards. We should not live to somebody's standards of a typical pageant girl or a typical Black woman. Or I think you should create your own beauty standard in order for you to actually be at peace and be okay with yourself, accept yourself fully. That is the only way you're going to be like at peace with yourself and okay with yourself. Even when somebody has something to say about you, you just be like, I know who I am, I know what I stand for, and I fully believe that I am beautiful. So for me, that's how I am so content with myself. I know that if I can't do anything, if I can't change a certain situation, if I can't change the way I look, I might as well just embrace myself, because that way I'll end up being miserable. So embrace yourself fully, be okay with yourself. Just be you and the world will adjust. That's what I think. Just be you and the world will adjust, because we won't be honestly, you will not be at peace with yourself. You will not be okay with yourself if you constantly want to live up to people's beauty standards, because that is just impossible. As much as the term "we're all beautiful" is not an international term, not everybody believes in it, but I do. I believe that we're all beautiful in our own way, and I believe that we're all beautiful in our own way, and for us to actually be okay with ourselves, we don't listen to what others have to say, don't listen to what everybody has to say, don't listen to somebody that says, no, this is how a typical pageant girl should be like, this is how a Black girl should be like. Make your own definition of how a Black girl should be like, your own definition of how a pageant girl should be like. That way you'll succeed in life. You'll be okay with yourself that way. Yeah.
Is Gugu still with us? Gugu, come back to us, baby. Okay, she left. So yeah, and while we added, let's get rid of the word standard in itself. The word standard is so limiting. So beauty should stand alone, and standing in itself belongs in the past, but not in the future that we're going in, especially in the space and the platform we're involved in, both in our lives. Claudine, what a way to end it. Love it. Whoa!
Don't miss SA's first ever virtual finale crowning of Miss Regal International South Africa and Miss Regal International Teen SA 2020. Streaming to you on Friday the 7th of August at 7 p.m. on quickets.co.za. Tickets are on sale now for only 70 Rand and available to purchase through quickets.co.za. Miss Regal, proudly brought to you by First Crew Productions.